Hello everyone, this is the Chicago election with your host Wasim Sahwell, and today we're here to talk about the mayoral candidates. The second candidate we will be talking about is Bill Daley. Again, the reason we are doing this entire channel is because with some research at our school, Taft High School, most if not all students around our age do not really know about the mayoral election, and if they do, they don't really know which mayor to vote for. So we're doing this channel to help look at both perspectives of the supporters of each mayoral candidate and the non-supporters of each mayoral candidate, and helping you just get a clear picture of each mayoral candidate and just helping you decide which person to vote. Okay, so let's get into it. The first article we'll be looking at today is an article from the Chicago Sun-Times. This is going to talk about Bill Daley and what his, I guess you could say, vision for Chicago is going to be. This article was created by, let me look, Mark Brown. So, without further ado, let's get in. Okay, the first thing that catches my eye while reading this article is that apparently Daley is 70 years old, and he formally launches his campaign to succeed Rahm Emanuel. I hope to God that I pronounced that right, as mayor, hoping to follow the footsteps of his father Richard J. Daley and his oldest brother Richard M. Daley. In the article, I am quoting this from the article, Daley said that, and I quote, "It's something obviously growing up with a father who was mayor and a brother who was mayor. They kind of crowded me out there for a while." Daley told the Sun-Times on Sunday in one of the series interviews with local news media that will serve as his announcement. Further on, he says, and I quote, I think it's something that if you grew up in Chicago and you were around government and around politics, being mayor was so much more important than being governor or senator or president," he said. So, basically, the first few paragraphs talks about the reason why he's attempting not to vote, to become mayor of Chicago. He says that, or Daley says that, his father, Richard J. Daley, and his oldest brother, Richard M. Daley, kind of inspired him to become mayor because he was around politics and knew the government mostly throughout his life. As we move down this article, it goes to Daley stating, and I quote, "And at this stage of my life, this is what I like to do for maybe the next 4 to maybe 8 years. If people don't accept it, I think I've had a great life. I'm lucky, but to be mayor, that would be the greatest," he said. It also states here that Daley is still polishing up his answer as to why he should be elected. Basically, Daley just states that it's like the ultimate question for the voters to decide at the end. He says that he thinks his life and what he tried to do in the private sector and in the government service that he's done indicated a seriousness and a sense of bringing people together. He says he loves the city. These last few paragraphs are just talking about his motivations and why he should be mayor. As to why he should be mayor, he does not have that answer yet, but he believes that his actions will speak louder than him trying to come up with a reason why, since he's worked in the government and he was working in the private sector. He thinks that if he became mayor, that would be the greatest thing he can do before his life ends. So we keep moving on, and Daley apparently did not have any formal events to announce his candidacy, not even a campaign video. He just decided to jump in and start campaigning. The more we go down, we find that Bill Daley admits that he doesn't know whether the Daley brand carries as much weight as it once did. So he is going right into trying to become mayor. He doesn't know that if the Daley name has any impact anymore. He doesn't really have, I guess, any words that he can say to convince people why he should become mayor. And he Just looks like he's trying to run. He doesn't look like he's trying to put himself out there. So if we just keep moving down, we go back lower, we can see that Daley's top concerns, or among his top concerns, is violence. He states that, and I quote, "Nothing else works unless we get a handle on the safety issue," he said, then praised Chicago police and emphasized the need to support them. So he wants more safety around Chicago and that we should support them more, or he's going to try to support them more to keep Chicago safe, or as safe as it can be. When we move it down, he states that Rich is not going to be able to look over my shoulder, whispering in my ear. He said, "I will ask him for advice like any brother would ask a brother who's got some experience at some of these things. But if I have the honor of being mayor, it will be the Bill Daley's administration." And another difference that he said he would do, he would have a policy that members of the Daley family will not be allowed to do business within the city or its sister agencies. So, this last thing, the last two paragraphs of this entire article, of the Sun-Times article, states that if he becomes mayor, he will ask some advice from his brother, but ultimately he will be using his own intelligence and decision making to create policies and to run the city. And if he does become mayor, he will make sure, apparently, that he will put out a policy to make sure that members of his family will not be allowed to do business within the city with its agencies or sister agencies. And then finally, the article ends off with him saying that sort of thing will not happen in my administration, he promised. So yeah, this is the entire article of Bill Daley from the Chicago Sun-Times. So yeah, let's just review it just one more time to I guess summarize it up neatly. So in the beginning, he talks about, first off, it just relates about what his motivation is to become mayor, which may become a mayoral candidate, which is because his father and his brother were mayors, and he wants to be a mayor since he was around the government and politics way more often than any, average kid would. In the middle of the entire article, it talks about that he does not have anything to say to people to prove why he should become a mayor, but he believes that his experience and his actions will try to convince people why he should become a mayor, since he worked in the private sector and in the government at one point in his life. Wow, I cannot speak. I'm sorry for everyone. And then if we scroll down, the very last thing is just him saying that if he becomes mayor, he will take some knowledge from his brother, who was a previous mayor, but ultimately he will do his own decisions and will not be influenced by anybody. And then finally, he just flat out claims that the Daley family will not be able to do business within the city with their agencies or their sister agencies, and he will make sure that this will not happen in his administration. And yeah, that's basically it. If you want to look at this article, I'll be leaving a link to it in the description below if you want to look at it. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Chicago election. And, yeah, see you next time.